Good evening. A very warm welcome to you to our first lecture of the fall season. I am Karen Taylor, Program Director of the General Society of Mechanics and Tradesmen of the City of New York. I want to express our thanks this evening to our Library Circulation Manager, Milena Rogers, to our board member, Neely Olay, and our volunteers, including Jerry Vedovich, and Arlene, and our library chair, Ellen Fish, for putting the book sale together. And finally, a thanks to Thomas Donahue, who's created special window displays to mark this event and program tonight, and one even has a pun. And also, I would like to acknowledge our newsletter editor, Penny Spector, who is here this evening, who's done, you've probably seen the newsletter on your seat. We are very blessed to have our newsletter editor. And Penny, perhaps you could, Penny's right at the back. She's very modest, but I would be very nice to acknowledge her. So, Penny, thank you. The General Society was founded in 1785 by the skilled craftsmen of New York City, by artisans who represented 22 different trades. Today, our 230-year-old organization continues to serve the people of the City of New York through our educational and cultural programs. These include our tuition-free Mechanics Institute, our Lock Museum, which is upstairs, and you're very welcome to visit that at the end of this talk this evening, which is the John M. Mossman Lock Collection, the General Society Library, of course, which you're in now, and our nearly 200-year-old lecture series, of which tonight's lecture is going to be part of. All proceeds from tonight's book sale will go to supporting the library, so I want to thank you all so much for your support of tonight's event. We are fortunate enough to have a special program, not only to launch the lecture series, but the book sale this evening. And I would like to express our appreciation to Polly Guérin for being here this evening. Polly Guérin tonight will discuss her book, The Dynamics of Color, that describes the various psychological aspects of color preferences and its effects on personality, lifestyle, and cultural interests. Polly Guérin writes on many diversified subjects. In addition to the dynamics of color, she is the author of the General Society of Mechanics and Tradesmen, A History, and the Cooper-Hewitt Dynasty of New York. She honed her skills as a professor at the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City, and writing is her daily routine. Polly Talk from New York is her popular running blog. Tonight's talk will be followed by a book selling and signing event for the Dynamics of Color, which will be sold at the normal retail price of $20. It is now my great pleasure to introduce to you Polly Guérin.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you all of you ladies and gentlemen. And I'm delighted to be here to tell you about the dynamics of color. In this book, I discuss only the three primary colors, but all the spectrum colors are covered in the book. The primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, are the kingpins from which all the other colors are made, the tertiary and the secondary colors. The dynamics of color reveals how color preferences and their effect on personality, lifestyle, and cultural interests, and how color is integral to music, art, and poetry, to fashion and career, and even the food we eat. The basic historical references on chakra definitions are, as well as inspirational advice, enhance the reader's reading understanding of color as a valuable adjunct to acquiring a happy outcome. The story of color is the story of civilization itself, so said Faber Baron, the famous color scientist. Ancient civilizations, such as the Egyptians, who were well ahead of the New Age thinkers, legend has it, they enlightened society built temples where color healing took place. Sunlight shone through colored gems that were embedded in the walls, such as rubies and sapphires, and cast colored rays upon the people seeking healing or rejuvenation. This was called the Temple Beautiful. Nearly every race and civilization has had a definite idea about color. Sanskrit teachings from Tibet, well over 2,000 years old, talk about chakras, the 7 energy centers in our body that correspond to the 7 colors that lie in line with the spine. Oh, no, it's dark here, and I can't see where I can't see this thing here. Oh, just a moment. Just a moment. See if I can get this here. Okay. Pardon? I moved it over. Thank you very much. Okay. The base of the spine, the red chakra, the center of sexuality, connected to the life force itself, returns to birth, blood, passion, energy, and the power to create. The basic chakra, red, is where the powerful energy is located and shoots up through the entire body, activating the chakras as it goes. Red personalities are independent pioneers in their professions. They are the superstars. They are the captains of industry. They are strong leadership people in politics. These are high-energy individuals. It's never a dull moment in their presence, and they expect to be the center of attention. Reds are a force to be dealt with because red personalities expect other less powerful colors to bend to their wishes that may be small price to pay for this highly charged personality. When wearing red, be prepared for excitement. Fiery red is the fashion designer Valentino's signature color for his couture collection. He said, a gown in his signature red has always been synonymous with haute style. When a woman wearing one, everybody looks at her. Red may be a dramatic entrance maker, but wearing a red suit for a career interview could strike up an unpleasant reaction on the part of the interviewer, who could become agitated by the power of red. As Carlton Wagner, the famous color expert, said, if you go to court wearing anything but a dark navy blue suit, you deserve to lose the case. See if I get this. Okay. This single most dramatic and passionate color symbolizes love, rage, and courage, demanding attention. Red has a great emotional impact. Those who desire this color are aggressive, energetic, impulsive, and strive for success. The desire to experience the fullness of life leads to constant activity. Goddess are a unique breed. Red is a color long treasured in the art world. Painters use color as their primary element, with persuasive color messages underlying their work. They work alone. Their ideas grow out of the depth of their imagination. These artists are like solo flyers. They have the courage to take flight on new ideas, and on the path to creativity, they never stop until the work is done. As the late Keith Haring, the celebrated Greenwich Village artist, declared, red is one of the strongest colors. It's bold. It houses power with the eye. That's why traffic lights are red, I guess. In fact, I use red in all my paintings. And so it is that red can provoke positive or negative expressions, but red is never silent. It provokes a comment. I have to go back. Okay. Color has a compelling ability to touch our auditory senses in profound ways. Consider the following description that alludes to this spectacular spectrum. The Spanish composer Manuel de Falla, fast-moving zarzuela La Vida Breve, The Brief Life, 1903, was described as a fiery emotional rainbow in which it invoked a spectrum of operatic emotions. It is interesting to note that the red chakra resonates with the C note on the C scale and sung as do, re, mi. A testimony to the power of red in music comes from the French composer Georges Bizet. In a letter he wrote, "Verdi has bursts of marvelous passion. His passion is red and brutal. It is true, but it is better to be impressionable in this way than not at all." Some individuals are transported by vibrations of music, and they do see color. Other individuals who are more sensitive see a rainbow of colors, and this is called synesthesia. Poets have often turned to red in their prose. Scottish poet Robert Burns says it all. "Oh, my love is like a red, red rose that's newest sprung in June. Oh, my love is like the melody that's sweetly played in tune." Red in interior decorating may at first glance be dramatic and inviting to contemporary decor. Indeed, the power of red can also be stimulating and encourage lively conversation. However, psychologically, it could be overstimulating, and therefore voices may be raised to the higher pitches and arguments can ensue. Something similar may happen in the bedroom. Red may symbolize passion and romance, but too much red on walls and in the decor can cause headaches, nervousness, and worse, a marital rift. The late fashion doyenne, Diana Vreeland, was the only one I knew who could pull off a red-charged room. She used exotic textiles. Keeping in step with the exotic, place a Moroccan rug on the floor and use giant pillows covered in deep red textiles, woven with an underbase of gold. As such, red can make a room look smaller, intimate, and inviting. My favorite painter, Florence Stedheimer, an American painter circa 1930s, 1940s, is at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the American Wing. Here in her self-portrait, she poses herself on a red background to symbolize her red energy and the dramatic representation of her persona. Similarly, women who wear red at social occasions are attention seekers and know that the power of red is provocative and enticing. Red by the passionate nature is linked to fiery romances, and Robert Indiana's iconic love sculpture says it all. However, red in the language of flowers is another point of view. When a Frenchman brings you a bouquet of deep garnet red flowers, that means passion. But if he brings you pink roses, that could mean an engaging romance. Blood moon represents the fall harvest moon. However, scientists say that it can also indicate pollution levels are dangerously high. I include trivia in the book. Red trivia includes, like I said, red devil, red rage, red flag. Then there is the red light district, and we don't want to suddenly become furious and see red or be handed a red herring. On a positive note, let's paint the town red and hope that they will put out the red carpet. One thing is certain about red. It may have positive and negative characteristics, but it is never boring. Psychologically, it has passion for an exciting life, and anyone within the red orbit is drawn to the energy and dramatic vibrations. Here is Adele, the Russian painter Gustav Klimt's golden girl of the 1900s, basking in the yellow glow of brilliant illumination. The painting exudes the rays of the sun with rich layers bursting with sun-drenched yellow. Sunshine, flowers, a cheerful disposition, intellectual pursuits, and brainy decisions make the second primary color of yellow convey the message that you are a cheerful, energetic person whose joy and optimism is spontaneous and contagious. Yellow is truly a joyous and radiant color. It exudes warmth, inspiration, and vitality. It is the happiest of colors. Yellow signifies communication, enlightenment, sunlight, and spirituality. If your treasured color is yellow, you look forward to the future. Intellectually high, imaginative, and idealistic, you have a cheerful spirit and an expectation of greater happiness. No, gotta go forward. There are painters who transform the sun to a yellow spot, and there are others who, with the help of their art and their intelligence, transform a yellow spot into the sun. And so it is that yellow signifies enlightenment. You are intellectually and highly imaginative. In short, you have a cheerful spirit and expect greater happiness. However, every color has its negative side. Hard for me to see this. Environmentally, yellow can seemingly bring sunshine into an otherwise lackluster dark room without a window or seemingly enlarge the space. By simply painting walls in soft yellow, mellow yellow, for example, the room will seemingly appear larger and brighter, not only improving your mind, but exuding an uplifting feeling in that space. However, like all the colors, there is a negative side to yellow. And an overdose of yellow can heighten temper tantrums, even cause depression. This calls to mind the mesmerizing 1892 novel, The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilmore, which became a play. The depressed female character tears down the wallpaper in a claustrophobic single room, and she eventually goes mad. This is an extreme example of negativity, but in the finest interpretation, yellow speaks of happiness. It is cheerful and friendly and projects an outgoing, energetic, and radiant lifestyle. Van Gogh said of his painting Yellow House, "My house is painted outside in the yellow of fresh butter. Inside I can live, breathe, and think and paint." The statement alludes to the significance of sunshine to stimulate an individual's environment, providing a room with a warm, inviting feeling. Color practitioners and therapists advise to meditate on yellow to realize your greatest potential for happiness and the fulfillment of your highest aspirations. As you contemplate the yellow rays, such as looking at this Gauguin painting, the yellow ray stimulates higher mentality to a haven of sunshine. Meditation on yellow opens up awareness to new interests, intellectual pursuits, expansive ideas, and enlightenment, creativity. It's also the color of intellectual enrichment and clear, precise decision-making. To meditate, you need to visualize yellow. Some people simply put on a sheer chiffon scarf over their head. Others use yellow sunglasses, and others can buy yellow gels at the art store and put them up on the window pane. I'd have to go back. Okay. The dining room in this slide, awash in yellow walls, tells another story. Just like sunshine yellow is a warm, welcoming color that can brighten any room and is cheerful all year. A yellow dining environment banishes gloom and elicits an upbeat, happy mood. Yellow keeps the room looking fresh and new, and such a warm and mellow environment invites people to linger longer and enjoy the meal at a pleasant pace that keeps company lingering at table, engaged in lively conversation. Yellow reminds us of our favorite fruits and vegetables. As the old adage says, eat your colors, preferably a rainbow a day. Fruits call to mind all the ones on display here, while daffodils and tulips make us think of spring and sunflowers make us smile. Products on the shelves of department stores know a thing or two about color psychology and choose colors that say, "Buy me." For instance, products in yellow packaging have high visibility. Therefore, the eye registers most quickly to yellow, and that is why you instinctively select that item. Then, too, the yellow legal pad or yellow highlighter you choose helps you to remember important details and encourages creative writing. This engaging painting by Florine Sedheimer, Picnic at Bedford Hills, saturates the background in soft yellow to evoke a day of sunshine happiness. It shows how an artist changes an ordinary green grassy background into one bathed in the sunny calm of a picnic day. Friendships blossom in yellow and signifies a good time, friend with an outgoing personality, and yellow roses represent joy and friendship. However, yellow can elicit a sour note and can make us think of a person who is yellow-bellied or a coward. Then there is yellow journalism, when news is sensational or distorted, now called fake news. Or we can take the yellow brick road to happiness and sunshine. Fashion designers have come up with a parade of hot-to-trot chrome yellow dresses and ensembles. Dior, for one, made it one of his signature couture collection colors to let his customers party through their life with a gay, sunny disposition. When women wear yellow, they feel assured, more dramatic, a person who is not afraid to flaunt her sunshine, personality, and femininity. Blue is one of the most popular colors associated with wisdom, confidence, truth, and tranquility. You are drawn to blue because it holds the qualities of gentleness, contentment, patience, and composure. Its energy is female. We feel gentrified by the soft and soothing motherly qualities of compassion and caring. Spirituality has always been associated with blue, as it is a symbol of contemplation, prayer, and heaven. The renowned Swiss artist Friedrich Hüdler attributed symbolic meaning to color and associated blue with spirituality in all of his paintings. In religious art, we associate blue with the cloak of the Madonna, symbolic of positive feminine traits. The ancient alchemists called the deep blue lapis lazuli the stone of heaven, as it bestowed upon the wearer an increased sensitivity to higher spiritual vibrations. It was sacred to the Egyptians, and only the pharaohs and priests were permitted to wear it. As such, Egyptian tombs were richly inlaid with lapis. Blue represents new relationships and invigorating ideas coming to the fore. It fosters a thirst for knowledge and artistic expression, and links the higher mind to intuitive understanding. Sensitive and self-controlled, the true blue personality is affectionate, faithful, sensitive, and loves to draw new people into the framework of their social life. Navy blue is considered the color of loyalty and dependability. It is no wonder, therefore, that the police officers and airline pilots wear dark blue as a symbol of their authority. From his mid-center career with illusion and realism, in his recent jewel-tone California landscape, David Hockney has consistently explored the notion of perception and representation with both intellectual vigor and sheer delight. In the painting Garden with Blue Terrace, Hockney defines the laws of his perception by seeming to advance and recede at the same time. Here, blue was his muse and is represented in a dreamy blue-infused setting. However, like the other colors, blue has both positive and negative association. Troubled and restless individuals should bring blue into their environment to absorb the calming qualities, to restore composure and patience. It has been proven that when sleep is a problem, a room painted in Wedgwood blue induces sleep, and this is especially beneficial to children's bedrooms. When I first went to Capital One, I asked, where's the bank? In this atmospheric blue lounge at the headquarters of Capital One Bank on 14th Street in New York City, the banking counter seemed to be less obvious, and instead, the bank offers the community a thoroughly blue-infused area in which to escape from the computer-driven environment and here relax and contemplate or meditate. Blue is represented by the G note on the G-C scale, and the vocal sound is E. Vasily Kandinsky insisted that color is the keyboard, the eyes are the hammer, and the soul is the piano of many strings. Then, too, while blue can be lofty and inspiring, the deeper shade of blue is associated with deep, dark rhythm called the blues, which is a popular description for jazz age music. The book Classic Music tells us, the premiere of Rhapsody Blue in 1924 propelled American composer George Gershwin into the history books as the man who first brought jazz into the concert halls. The blue chakra, the third down on this chart, also known as the throat chakra, governs the nose, ears, and mouth. The voice of communication, the center of self-expression, is strongly linked to the blue chakra. The innate calming qualities of blue, therefore, is an excellent choice when you're thereby excited and have bouts of anxiety. When Susie suffered from a scratchy throat, she gently wrapped a blue scarf around her neck for relief. This is simple, holistic act gives testament to the healing power of the color. The blue chakra also represents positive vibrations, and when you meditate, blue will aid in linking you to your higher mind and to intuitive understanding. It fosters a great desire for knowledge and self-expression and the constancy of loyalty and vigor. As Gauguin said, if you see a tree as blue, then make it blue. In this quote, Paul Gauguin alludes to the message to dare to be different, to scale the bright heights of your imagination and soar into the blue, blue sky. Blue is an ambivalent color. Its meaning depends on the word association. In the trivia section of the book, I point out how blue can be somewhat provocative, like a blue joke or a blue film, and we do not want to meet the fairy tale character Bluebeard under any circumstances. Blue themes have dominated poetry throughout the ages. John Keats' sonnet, Blue, reminds us of blue in nature. Blue, gentle cousin of the forest green, married to green in all the sweetest flowers, forget me not, the bluebell. Van Gogh's painting Starry Night reminds us that it is the sky that gives us wonder and inspiration. It tells us that we can be more than we have ever thought to be. It gives us hope and enables us to enter into the darkness of ourselves and see who we really are and what we can become and all the endless potential that exists. The blue sky allows us to be still and connect to the universe, where we can be enlightened, empowered, and inspired to think outside the box, not allowing anyone or anything to restrict our enthusiasm or enlightenment. Color identification recognition are clear keys to a product's success on market shelves. No wonder laundry detergents come in a variety of blue, blue and white, and blue and orange packages that consumers perceive as trustworthy products and powerful cleaning agents. Then, too, blue-tinted healing drinks promise to deliver energy in a bottle, while blue drinking glasses may suggest the beverage is pure and trustworthy. The power of blue has its positive side, and dietists would be wise to choose blue-tinted dinner plates to curb their appetite. Blue couture suggests the height of serene elegance, as captured here in a runway gown that speaks to fashionistas, that wearing blue is uplifting with positive vibes. This wall-to-wall decor's total immersion in blue makes the room seem much larger than it is, because blue is an expansive color. This room invites serenity, a peaceful haven escape from the computer-driven society. In other decorative schemes, blue can be a natural agent that creates a spa-like feeling with an aquatic serenity. To enhance a seaworthy theme in a child's room, it is wise to tame down tempers, tantrums, and cool blue walls and nautical themes. Case in point, according to the color authority Carlton Wagner, when schoolroom walls were changed from orange and white to blue, students' blood pressure dropped and their behavior improved and learning comprehension soared. Psychologically, blue automobiles on the road are perceived as being driven by safer drivers, and therefore they give other cars driving confidence. Blue is a color that leads to the safe way on the highway. Alas, the world would be a very, very sad place without the blue of the sea and the sky, the streams and lakes. Restful and cool, blue is a primary pigment that has made its way to mainstream America as its favorite color. Research shows that looking at blue actually lowers the psychological levels of stress. In general, studies indicate that everyone likes some tint or shade of blue. When it comes to blue denim, America's on the march in both men's and women's fashion. Perhaps that is because blue represents rare new things and new relationships. Blue fosters a thirst for knowledge and self-expression and links the mind to intuitive understanding. Sensitive and self-assured, a true blue person is affectionate, faithful, and loves to draw new people into their orbit. Art Deco, the era identified as the iconic style that emerged between World War I and World War II, with its blue and black enamel work in jewelry, home furnishings, streamlined home products, and ironwork remains a favorite with modern consumers. It was associated with the Great Gatsby era, a time of gay abandon after World War I, a relief from the war restrictions and the blues of the Jazz Age personified with the iconic streamlined chic of ocean liners carrying passengers to exotic places and gay Paris, where Josephine Baker walked with her pet leopard on a gold chain, and the world was ablaze with the spectrum of color. I end my lecture hoping that you will incorporate more color in your life for a spectrum of love and happiness. Thank you. I look forward to talking to you at the reception if there are any questions or comments that you wish to make.
Should we have a few questions?
Do you have any comment to make about the political designations of Republican and Democrat being red and blue states, and now we have hybridization, a purple state category?
I don't think I can comment on that. Thank you very much for asking. It's a good question.
Polly, well, first of all, thank you so much. That was wonderful. You've given us so much to think about. What made you write the book?
Well, I was always fascinated by color. I taught about color at the college as well, and wrote the story of color for them, a textbook. And so I said, let me bring this out to the consumer level. So that's why I did it. And I did want to mention that the cover was done by a wonderful artist. You see how much color he uses in that cover. His name is David Aquino Sanchez, a Santo Domingo artist, just so brilliant.
And just one other. And do you have a favorite color?
Well, unfortunately, I don't, because I love to wear, so you've seen me many times, I wear a lot of color and many different colors because I just enjoy it so much to combine colors. Like here I'm wearing a pale green with red, which is an unusual combination, and people usually stop and ask me, where'd you get that from? You know.
Are there surveys of what the most popular colors are in terms of automobiles or other places where
that's a
people
good
pick?
question. There probably are. You'd have to contact the Automobile Association, Public Relations. They probably have those kind of surveys, absolutely. But blue is considered one of the safest colors on the road. It's wonderful how you can find out anything on the internet.
Are you familiar with the auras that people give off in the chakra?
Who's talking?
Oh, I am. Hi. Are you familiar with the auras that people give off? It's part of the chakra.
Can you speak a little, stand up and speak, please?
Are you familiar with auras that people exude that are part of the chakra study in India?
Yes, now that's a whole other dimension, these auras. These are holistic people who have those kind of answers. No, I do not deal about auras. That's a whole different other division. I try to keep it as simple and understandable, incorporating what artists say, what different fashion says, what products say about the colors.
Last question.
If anything pops up in your mind, I'll be in the back. Why don't you put it on the microphone?
This has certainly opened up an interest in your book, for sure, and understanding more about colors and the other colors that are derived from these three. So it's just fascinating to think about what colors we're all drawn to and how that shifted over our life. It's changed, and that I would definitely want to read the book and get a sense of how the other colors mix in.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yes.
But then again, as you touched on, color is never stagnant. Yeah, when you're a child, it's one set of colors. A teenager, as you get older, it keeps changing. Your color preferences keep changing depending on where you live, the climate changes, the jobs you have, the people you're associating with. So it's a really exciting thing to deal with color.
Thank you, Polly. That was fascinating and illuminating. And as our audience member so eloquently said, I think we'll all think about color in a different way, and we really appreciate the fact that you have shared your knowledge and expertise about color with us this evening. I do want to mention that this book is for sale, and Polly will be signing it at the back of the room, so I hope you will consider purchasing it. I want to express our appreciation for Polly for speaking this evening, and we would like to make a presentation to you, Polly, in honor of your talk.
And so, as I said, Polly, thank you so much. That was delightful, as you are delightful. When Polly is a General Society member, and I have to say she always lights up a room for many reasons, but also because of her beautiful dress and accessories, and it makes such a difference, and it makes you think how important it is. And my signature color is black. I'm always in black dresses, it's true. And you better believe when I got dressed this morning, I said, I cannot disappoint you. So I pulled out one of the most colorful things I have in honor of you. So Polly, our dear friend and sister, on behalf of the General Society of Mechanics and Tradesmen of the City of New York, founded 1785, we express our gratitude to Polly Guérin, author of The Dynamics of Color, and of course, the General Society of Mechanics and Tradesmen, A History, one of our favorite books ever, and for your participation in the General Society lecture series. Polly, thank you so much.
Thank you. Your certificate. Thank you.
Polly, again, thank you so much. I want to thank you all for coming this evening. I hope you will join us with a glass of wine, and as I mentioned, Polly will be signing her books. I also want to mention that the book sale will be ongoing as well. Thank you again for coming this evening, and I do want to mention very briefly that this is the start of our lecture series, and we have some really interesting lectures coming up, including Why Unions Still Matter, and we're very fortunate that we're going to have Blanche Wheaton-Cook here talking about Eleanor Roosevelt. So I hope you will be able to come back at future events. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.